Welcome again. So, as you can see, there was a little bit of a progress. Nothing's welded up just yet. It's all sort of dry fit. See how it's going to look like. I have capped the ends of the collectors from both ends, which I'm quite happy with. So the next thing I think is going to be tack up this side. Once it's fairly well tacked up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some stops everywhere I can, from the engine side, from the frame side, to keep the distance. So secure all of the bolts, tighten them, and then I'm going to lay in some more welds, a little bit heavier, and hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing's going to actually warp. As I've done a couple of times in the past, especially on the FJ12 and previously on the XJR13 as well. I think I managed to achieve the same thing. Not great. So if I can avoid that, that would be marvelous. Once that's in place, I will basically make sure that this side is symmetrical to this side. So I don't want, there's no point doing it now, because if I move this one, because it's not welded up, I'm going to lose that symmetry. So I'll weld that bit up, and I'm going to move on to the other side, especially in terms of the spacings from the frame over here as well. I might consider moving it slightly up as well, so I have a little bit more play between the frame. It's really millimeters. It's not great, but if I'm not mistaken, once everything is solid, it should slide out, no problem. Well, at least that's the theory. So yeah, that's a brief summary where I am. So a little bit of welding as the next step, and we'll see how we get on with that. So, here we are. I think I've done enough welding in situ to risk taking it off. You have to excuse me, I am really making this up as I go along, so it doesn't look very good. However, I think I've clamped it plenty to allow me to progress a little bit on the inside. It's not the most comfortable position that I've ever welded in, but we're not here to have everything nice and easy. So, see how that goes. Right, so a few days have passed. I've managed to do what I set out to do, which is weld up the left collector completely. I did manage to warp it after all when I had it off the bench, so lessons learned. I need to clamp even more. I think if you look at my channel in one of the shorts, I was laughing about it because I used that little 5 clamps, I think, ended up being not enough. So I got this in with the old gaskets in, so I roughly know where I am. Beautifully spaced out, about 2 millimeters from the engine. A few millimeters from here, from this end as well. Everything pops in, pops out. What I've ended up doing is clamping these two in, putting a strap around the engine, pulling this one out, and then once it actually clicked into place, because it didn't warp too much, I basically went over with TIG, full power, just heated it up over here, managed to blow a hole as well, which I've welded up now. But it actually allowed the material to flex a little bit, and I used a bit of leverage as well. And now it is a really nice snug fit. Thankfully, the design on this engine is very forgiving. So what I've done now, I've tucked up the other side. What I'm doing now is making sure that they are flush this way. That this gap is roughly the same as this one. I don't think I'll achieve ideal dimensions here. I don't care. You've noticed I think I managed to cut this header too short, so I'll be making that up. I'll be TIGging. I will probably go double wire. It's gonna cover that quite nicely. That's fairly tight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna repeat the same thing as I've done with the left side. I'm going to weld up as much as I can in situ. Then an additional thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to actually weld a bar across the 3 headers so they don't flex towards or out away from each other. And hopefully then use 5 clamps as well on the table and finish up welding everything together, and fingers crossed, once everything's done, it will be a nice and snug fit equally as this one is, and that will be the top of the exhaust completed. And there we have it, boys and girls. Both sides done. Near done perfect. Gaps just a smidgen between the engine. Enough space between the frame. Still enough clearance to have engine mounts. That I will need to ask for a favor for somebody to machine. Made an absolute mess of the welding, but doesn't matter, it's all gonna get coated. As long as everything stays in place, then it's fine. As I've mentioned, I had it actually welded together, so there is no warping, and it worked. It's a very snug fit again. And if you look at it, it's all really nicely aligned. Boom. So now what's left is the bottom bit. Hello and welcome to what I hope is the last part of the exhaust fabrication. As you can see, the bike is back on its shoes. Not sure you've actually seen it on its shoes. But that's all up. I have my bottom bends, custom order, 78 degrees, whatever, nearly there. I got the slotted connectors and the end pipes. So the scope of works for today: weld on the collectors to the end pipes, roughly work out height-wise where we're going to sit. They are a little bit too long. I don't think I'm going to want them to come out that long. Probably going to chop them somewhere closer, and then that of course that needs trimming. Once that's in the right length, we're going to fit everything together, hang it up, weld it up, and that should be roughly it. I will of course be making some bracketry to support the bottom of the exhaust, the rear of the exhaust, so it doesn't bounce around too much. Possibly make some the front as well, although there's 6 mounting points, effectively 3 per each collector. I don't think there's going to be a great deal of movement to actually warrant, absolutely having to have bracketry in the front. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. We'll see how quickly I can do that and show you the end result. And there we have it. Done. Beautiful. It's missing everything that's important underneath. And it's gonna have clearance from the sump. So yeah, I'll cut them short so they are flush with the frame. Load them up with baffles. Do a bracket somewhere here so they don't bounce about. And later on, maybe, depending on how I actually set up the footrest, there's a potential to curve them out here and run them across have the silencers. But I think the baffles will be more than enough. Don't want it too quiet. It needs to scream. So there you have it. That is the exhaust. Pretty much done. Is it my best welding? I don't think so. Do I care? Not really. It's still going to be ceramic coated, so it's going to look really, really good. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next episode.